Hello fellow explorers! Today we'd like to show you how to plant seeds in your base and crossbreed them step by step. Conducting your research is not an easy task and you have to satisfy some requirements. First, we have to construct our base that will serve both as our habitat and research facility. One crucial thing to look out for when picking a spot for your base is access to a water deposit. It can be a river or an underground deposit. Plants need water to grow. To be able to plant seeds in your base, we'll need a grow pod, a water pump, because plants cannot live without water, a solar panel. It will provide power to our base, grow pods and water pump. A bee pipe. This structure funnels bees into the lab. When the lab is fully operational, we can go explore SOTA 7 and collect seeds and branches that we will require further on. Life on SOTA 7 is alien, but not entirely dissimilar to what we are familiar with. There is a day and night cycle, and every plant has its own growth cycle. For the purpose of this devlog, all plants will grow simultaneously, but don't expect it to stay that way. The plants in Honeycomb can be divided into three main categories: crops, trees, and herbs, where every one of them has its own mechanic that we'll cover later. First, focus on picking up subsamples. Each flower and fruit that we pick up must be collected with a dedicated tool, scissors, because we don't want to damage it. Here, we collected a flower from the Solum family. As you can see, it has its own limited lifespan away from its branch, so it will deteriorate and disappear after some period of time. But each flower, fruit and herb can be processed in order to procure seeds we can plant in our grow pods. For crossbreeding to be possible, we need two different plants from the same family. We've already collected a beetle solum, and the second flower from this family is dragonfly solum. The second type of plants we've mentioned before are trees. Here you can see a tree from the Lummus family. We call it a sunbeam Lummus. Each tree produces fruits that drop to the ground when they are fully grown. Apart from fruits, each tree has a branch that we can cut off and use later for grafting. After collecting one seed from the Lummus family, we need to search for a seed belonging to the other species within the family. Lastly, we can collect herbs. These plants we simply pull out of the ground. Each collected herb gives us produce and seeds separately, and we don't need to process it. Today we'll collect sour and sweet tarax, and maybe observe some camellias. Now let's go back to our base. We can select the seeds from inventory and plant two different flower seeds from the same family in one grow pod. After some time has passed, we see that these plants grew and even a new sprout showed up. As you can see, the color of this plant is a little bit different. We created our first hybrid plant that is a cross between two naturally occurring plants we collected earlier. The new flower looks different and its properties are different. Crossbreeding for herbs is exactly the same, even though herbs have a different life cycle. After they reach full maturity, herbs die and disappear from grow pods. That's why we need to perform our allogamy experiments during the earlier flowering stage. This way we can obtain a hybrid herb within the herb's life cycle as long as there is a free spot in its grow pod. Last part of our research is grafting. It means we'll have to take a branch from one type of tree, for example from a sunbeam Lummus, and graft it onto another tree from the same family, starbeam Lummus. If we're lucky, we may get a new fruit. And here we go. We just collected a new fruit, cloudbeam Lummus. Just like with the flowers, we can process this fruit in inventory to obtain seeds. Now we just need to plant these new seeds in grow pod. Wait. And here we go. A new type of tree just grew. It's a cloud beam lumus tree that is obtainable only in our research lab. But what is the purpose of crossbreeding plants, you may ask? It's worth remembering that Honeycomb is a survival game and each consumable item may have its own effect on the player character. Crossbred plants might induce different, more potent or more beneficial effects. There is one more thing we'd like to cover in this devlog, and it's changing the soil and fertilizing your plants. Using different soil and fertilizer allows us to influence the quantity of flowers, fruits and crops that we'll be able to harvest in the future. Useful in a survival situation where optimization can make or break your best laid plans. And remember, when deconstructing structures, try not to remove water access from the grow pods. Without water, the plants will dry out and die. And that was everything for this devlog. If you found it interesting, consider following us on Steam, and thank you very much for watching.